Watch my six, a reflection. Two are better than one because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls, one can help the other up. Sometimes I feel a pull to go my own way. Not consciously out of defiance, but a quiet resistance that sometimes I just don't have insight into in the moment. On this particular Saturday, we spent the first part of the day moving furniture and organizing, and we ran back and forth to a storage unit. And so that meant we had to go through some things, get rid of things, and just move things around. And I had been summoned. My husband woke up with a lot of energy and in a good mood, and he wanted to get it done. And so I had to go trek the grass, lift heavy things, my kryptonite. To be fair, I do enjoy some barefoot grass time to ground myself. We all need to touch grass, but this wasn't that. This was a demand. And I hate demand. I slipped into a mode of subtle obstinate. Even as I recognized it outside of myself, I couldn't disrupt it. And my husband noticed, of course. He called it out gently at first, and then firmly, and I yielded. Things moved smoothly after that. We made jokes about me being a slave, and he promised me lunch and affection as payment. So later that night, when this gaming session happened, we played a few rounds of Warzone. We played casuals. We kept it cute, low pressure. Now, usually when we play casuals especially, we often are in the top 10, more often than not top 5, depending on who our other two teammates are. But this time, nothing. We weren't in sync. We weren't locked in. We didn't place top 3 at all. And it just felt off. To his defense, he was exhausted, mentally and physically. He'd gone to California the day before, and I don't think I factored in his fatigue. I mean, he did say he wanted to play, but he did mention that he was tired. So he was a little bit more quiet than usual, and he wasn't as aggro or called as many shots as he usually would. He gave me snacks and affection throughout the day, but looking back on it, I don't think I realized how little I checked on him in real time. That disconnect carried into the game. Our communication was off, and I kept forgetting what color he was on the minimap. I keep on forgetting who he is. I would even have moments where I would remind myself at the beginning of the round what color he was and what color I was, and I still would find myself drifting off and chasing other random colors or teammates and then dying. Sometimes I drifted towards whatever stood out. It could be a fight, a chest, a coin, a random color, a random thought. And according to my minimap, he could have been light years away. And I don't think I even would have noticed until the blaring sound of your teammate going down in Warzone hit my ears. At one point, he was so far out, it was kind of quiet. And if he was calling out things, I hadn't noticed. I wasn't paying attention to pings or call outs. I followed the teammate instead. We had been playing a more defensive game in this round, so we were holding down the train station on the roof. I think I grew impatient and I pushed ahead with the green player without taking in my surroundings, because usually that's something he does. He strategizes. I play more of a supportive role. He usually always watches my six and I watch his. That's our kind of thing. But we lost our synergy. But I did realize a lot of what I thought were my strengths in game might just be us working well together. Since he was a bit more quiet and wasn't calling out things, I found myself lost a lot of the time, spinning around, not really sure where to go, and just not really locked in and as focused as I would think I would be. It was embarrassing to feel off. My aim was shaky and my decisions were sloppy. And the minimap, which usually just orients me, became evidence that I wasn't tracking what mattered, my partner. Watching myself run out in the open, thinking the enemy was north when they were maybe west, having no awareness of the danger right beside me, not seeing a sniper on the red roof dead ahead, was definitely something to see. So I wonder what happens in real life when I drift so far off the path that I don't even notice that he's not behind me. How does it play out? Instead of an unexpected sniper on the roof or an enemy just over a hill, what traps do I walk into? What things am I attributing more to myself and my capabilities when they really just are an outcome of a life we built together or a synergy that we both contribute to? Because I'm more of a supportive player, maybe when I tried to be a little bit more aggro in this gameplay, you see how fast I went down. I do wonder, in what ways in real life do those things happen? Sometimes it's easy to think that you're doing everything when you're overwhelmed or you're tired. But a lot of times you probably are doing a lot, but they may be doing just as much. And since you don't play the same role as them, maybe you just don't notice. But I also think that that's why sometimes it is important to have spaces where you go out by yourself and you see how you manage and take in things when you're by yourself. A lot of times I hadn't even noticed how anxious I would be when I would go out alone because I'm usually used to having my kids or my husband around me. In those rare moments when I have to do an event for my business and maybe I'm by myself or have to navigate a situation that I'm not familiar with by myself, I would notice how anxious I was. I hadn't realized how much I depended on him and his quiet leadership to make me feel more at ease. And so I attributed it to me just being a very confident person. But the reality is, I'm not as confident as I thought I was. And this game just reminded me of that. Maybe I'm not as good of a Warzone player as I thought I was. Maybe I work best as a team. Maybe I need somebody to strategize, and maybe I need that aggro player. Because if you're flanking and you're alone, you're just attacking from an off angle. You're not really flanking. So I do wonder what other things I could learn from this gameplay, especially on a day where our fatigue gets the better of us. And even though we think we're locked in, we're just not, and the results prove itself. Anyway, if you're listening to this, I want to know in the comments what games you play with your partners, if you play solo, and what things about your gaming do you notice that you do in real life, and in what ways do they show up. And if you like the video, like and subscribe. There'll be more videos like this. I play other games such as Overwatch, House Flipper, any other random game that pops up that I want to play. So it won't just be Warzone and my husband. Sometimes it'll be solo games. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch y'all next time. Bye.